Hi, I'm Nicole Kalenda, speech language pathologist, adjunct professor, and founder of Creating Voice for Possibility. And today I'm coming in to talk to you about how you can include your child's sibling in their therapy process. So, still coming to you, it's August 2020, we're in the middle, still, hopefully, it's the middle. Sometimes I feel like it might still be the beginning of the pandemic, and teletherapy is on the rise. And along with teletherapy, especially with children, younger children with speech motor difficulties, parents are really the main conduit for a lot of the therapy targets and goals. So I find myself often um, not only working with, but working through the parent, which for me, a practicing speech pathologist for 20 years, who really always preferred to get the parent out of the room as soon as I could, is and has been quite a challenge. And it's a new direction to take this therapy, and I think it's necessary with teletherapy. So one of the things that I have also been capitalizing on during this time frame are the siblings in the home. And I'm just going to share with you this one instance of how I was able to include the child that I'm working with, how I was able to include her sibling in her progress and what that meant for the family. I think it's helpful for all of us that are out there working right now, finding creative ways on how to get progress with our clients. I think it's really important to share what we're doing because we're all learning this right now as together as a collective. So I am working with a child right now. She will be 2 in October, and I know her parents very well. I worked with her brother, who was a little bit older than her. I always forget ages. I believe he is 6 right now. I worked with him about 2 years ago, and I worked with him for about a year. He had a very mild articulation case. I only saw him 1 time a week, which generally goes against my golden rule of doing at least 2 times a week to make effective change. But quite honestly, he didn't need it. His family was really involved. His parents always followed through on the homework, and I saw him once a week for roughly a year, if not a little bit less. And I had a really great rapport with him and his family. And I was there when his sister was born. Cut to almost 2 years later, his parents have asked me to work with his sister, and speech is challenging for her. And one of the things we noticed is that she loves to impress her older brother, and he has this unique vantage point of understanding how challenging speech is for her. So he wants to help, and it's adorable and really quite touching. So let me tell you what I did. I asked the parents if I could meet with him alone in a Zoom room to go over with him what my target goals were for his sister and to get him on board and to let him feel good. Another thing was he was feeling a little bit bad that his sister was now getting my attention and seeing me, and he wasn't. So this was also a good way for him to know that I still care about him and I still want a relationship with him. It just, obviously it looks a little bit different now that he doesn't need speech therapy. So anyway, I met him for about a half hour, and I actually basically talked to him like an adult, and I was able to do this with him. And I told him, what the target goals were for his sister. We have been using a modified DTTC technique based on the motor learning principles developed by Edith Strand. And one of the things that you do with this technique is you create a word list for the child. And you base this word list on what they currently have in their speech motor system. So what phonemes they have, what's in their repertoire, what vowels they have, what syllable shapes they have. And I had about 7 words in this client's word list that I wanted the parents to go through on a daily basis. So I sat down with the brother and I talked to him about the word list. And I talked to him about why I chose the word list. I shared screen, I showed him the word list, and I talked to him about sitting down with his sister and having her practice these target words and what might be good times. So one of the words was eat. And we surmised together that when the family gets together for dinner, practicing eat is a great time. But he also said that he likes to have a little bit of a snack when he's in the backyard with his sister, and that he thought that that might be a good time for him to work on this word alone with her. And of course, I agreed. Another thing that we came up with together was having him get a copy of the words, and what he did was he wrote them out on his own, and he put them and posted them up in their shared playroom and in his bedroom so he could remember, and her bedroom. I mean, how sweet. And this was prompted him to be able to remember what the target words were, and gave him the ability to sort of on the fly target these words with her. So he was super excited when we got off our Zoom call. He felt good about himself, and he wanted to be involved. I want to stress that because not every sibling wants to be involved, and we have to respect that, and that's okay. This particular child wanted to be involved. Cut to about a month later, the progress that we have seen in this client has been absolutely amazing. She's working on her target words all the time. She's actually able to put together words now or combine words to create two-word utterances, which she was not able to do prior. I'm hearing a whole bunch of new sounds in her repertoire or new attempts, and I see a definitive increase in her confidence as a result. And I couldn't be happier or prouder. So in these times of teletherapy, and I know this is going to be something I'm going to be thinking about after teletherapy, how we can involve the family. We're always looking for ways to generalize target skills, because the reality is what we do in therapy and in practice, we really have to think about and scaffold how what we're teaching in therapy translates and generalizes to that child's everyday life, because they're not in therapy all the time. They have to go home, and what we know from the principles of motor learning is they have to practice, do repetitive practice of these targets over and over and over again. And if we are not there to do it, we have to enlist help of the family, right? And siblings are a great choice, especially if parents are busy or working or in another Zoom room with another child who is doing virtual learning. So this happened to be a really great success, and it was a really wonderful way to involve the sibling, and we saw a really big uptick in my client's progress. So again, if you can, I highly encourage you to think about how you can really foster growth and success in your child, and to think about including your child's sibling. It really was an awesome success story in this case. Thanks. As always, thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, nicole@voiceforpossibility.com. I've been trying to come in and give quick snippets. If there's anything you would like me to talk about, or if you have a question, I would so appreciate you reaching out. And thank you again for tuning in and following. Take care. Bye.